Soul Tribe, are you ready to get things moving? Mercury's getting ready to go direct here, and then we have Mars and Venus getting ready to enter into their home signs. I feel like things are falling into place. This is the time to get uplifted, and if you want to see how this is going to be working out in your chart, stay tuned to this video. But before we jump into this thing, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, likes, and shares. Your support really is just out of this world here, gang, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome to my channel, Alchemist. My name is Justin, and I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now this is your weekly download, and with this video, I gotta come up with something more kind of like fun for that, something bigger. We'll see about that. I'll bring it. We'll play around with that. Nature, my problem. But with this weekly download, this is talking about the astrological weather that's going to be going on this week. I'll be doing this from the week of February 25th. We're going way back, for April 25th through May 1st. Didn't I say Mercury went direct? And I still feel like I'm having retrograde talk. Let's get into this thing before I keep serving you up word salad here. Because on the 25th, on Jupiter Day, Mercury is going to be turning direct at 5:54 a.m. and that will be Pacific time. And with Mercury turning direct in Aries, where this is an exciting time, where Mercury is going direct, where things are finally getting moving, how I really kind of picture this direct, when Mercury's moving direct, is it's not necessarily that, yes, things have slowed down, but it was more so that the day-to-day was changing. When I feel like we're trying to get to this place of achieving certain, when we're setting these intentions and working towards these goals, there's a shift that happens. And the retrograde time is for us to kind of play around with these energies there. It's a time of trial and error, a time for brainstorming, a time, especially being in Aries, where, yes, we may want to move, we're wanting things to go forward, but we don't want things, I feel, with the Mercury having done this in direct, because we had such big energies that were cooking up during this. I mean, with the eclipse, this Jupiter and Uranus conjunction, I feel the universe didn't want us to just spend all this energy at once. I feel like this retrograde was an understanding the potential that you truly have, that you can really bring to the table. And now with him turning direct, this is that time that we've been in, that sort of brainstorming phase, that kind of been cooking things up. This is the time to get things moving, but I feel like it's not a forcing things. It's like things will start falling into place as they start making sense. Like it's going to be more of this kind of intuitive. We're still trusting in this kind of these intuitive nudges that are coming through, because when Mercury's just stationing direct, it's just like, again, when you're waking up out of a slumber. You're not trying to tackle everything right off the bat. You need a minute to kind of roll out of bed. We go to the bathroom. We need to go get some coffee or get some tea. Maybe we need to go walk the dog. There's a whole ritual that's needing to happen here. And so that's what I feel, where we may want to be like, okay, Mercury's direct, let's go do all of the things. I feel like it's like, no, what's priority? Let's we had this time. We saw what happened in the retrograde when we try to force things, or if it happened. And it's not to say that, again, that you can't start things up during retrograde, but there's a higher chance for doing repeats. And there can be a lot of gold that can come from the retrograde times. Even if things did happen to blow up, those failures can be valuable lessons going forward, because now we can really be intentional, and be, it's this more I feel like it's almost more kind of, I mean, proactive is the word that's coming to my head, but there's something a little bit deeper than that. But the nice thing too, I feel, about this energy is that Mercury is not going to be forming an exact conjunction, but Mercury will be coming in close to the North Node again at about 15 degrees of Aries. And conjunctions are just when the energies are blending together. You can think of them as fusions, as the energies are starting to integrate, and then it brings about new insights, new inspirations, new opportunities that can come your way. And with this sort of this conjunction, there's a as you go to explore astrology, you may come across these things of Sabian symbols. And this, I like to think of it as, described as like a degree theory, where it talks about each of there are 360 degrees in a chart wheel. And each of those degrees has a story, and it just adds another layer of nuance. So this is something that resonates with you. Definitely apply this. But the Sabian symbol for this degree of Aries is phase 16 of Aries, which is nature spirits are seen at work in the light of sunset. And I really like this energy, because the keynote for this too is attunement to the potency of invisible forces of nature. And so with Mars really kind of fueling a lot of this, which in low key has been Neptune, has been deep down, has been really kind of running the play or running the show when you follow the chain of connection. But Mars has been in Pisces for a while, that Mars in Pisces has been fueling a lot of this, like it fueled the eclipse that just happened. And I feel that it has been something where we've been needing to kind of trust in something bigger than ourselves, like knowing that there are these energies that are working behind the scenes that are trying to help our dreams and things manifest, to reveal to us. But I feel this is tuning into what you're attracting to, what may be getting in the way of your destiny, because the North Node, I feel like this, with Mercury kind of sitting at this degree before they're getting ready to go forward and back towards the sun again. I feel that this is Mercury really kind of sitting with all of the lessons and the things that happen during these retrogrades, the wins, the losses, and what that really means, and what were really the intentions behind that, and where do you feel that has been trying to guide you going forward? Do we still have these doubts that are needing to be looked into? Is this, what is going on in the mind? What has happened in this? How have you processed everything that's going down? And I feel like things are really going to start being clear. Things I feel like are going to start moving, but where things are going for sure, I feel it will move with a more confident stride once Mercury moves out of that shadow period around the 13th of May. So we still have a little while, because now Mercury's got to go back through all the degrees that they went through beforehand. So, but now I feel Mercury's going to be going at it better. This is a chance to you may not be sure how you're going to deliver it more and deliver it in better, but I feel like there's something deep down that it's just a trusting that you got this, that you're going to know when the time is right. You're going to know, the body knows what to do. The body knows how to show up and show out and level up. So that's what I feel this first energy is kind of, and I feel like that's a very nice way to start off a Jupiter day, give with expansion, possibilities, opportunities. And I like that is going direct on the day of opportunity. So this is a chance, that optimism, keep that hope, that faith. It's not ignoring the fact that there may be some challenges that are going to be coming along the way, but it's looking at them as maybe as stepping stones as opposed to roadblocks. And almost being and appreciating the roadblocks, because then they gave you a chance to kind of recoup and kind of get yourself together. But the next energy that we're going to talk about while we're in this, sort of talk about the invisible forces of nature, because on Sunday, on April 28th, Mars is going to be forming a conjunction with Neptune at 28 degrees and 53 minutes of Pisces. And this is a really cool one, because I feel that, and if I didn't say this is going to be happening at 9:31 p.m., but what I feel this Sabian symbol, or excuse me, what this conjunction is that I feel like this, it's almost like this is the end of that, and it's almost like graduation day. It's like after, it's like that conversation that happened with that conjunction with Mars and Saturn. It's just like, okay, this is your dream. How do you want to go forward? This is how, these are some things that are going to work. These are some things that are going, these are going to be some challenges that you're going to need to be disciplined on. And now it's like we've processed this stuff. I feel like we've been integrating this, and now Neptune in is like, is almost like baptizing this union, your dream. In a sense, it's really beautiful what I'm kind of visualizing here, that this can be one where you just feel that internal approval, like you get it may, and it may not be a big sign. Neptune is very subtle energy, but I feel there are going to be these, it's like looking at the all of the gifts and all of the ways that the roadblocks have been, or the not even the roadblocks, or how the roadblocks have, maybe you've turned them into an actual road. It's like you've used those blocks, and like, it's like, all right, we've knocked them down and we've repurposed them a little bit. But this, I just feel like there's this syncing up here of just like, okay, this is where I feel drawn to. This is where this feels like my calling, you know. And like, it's that inner you is starting to, you're starting to feel, I feel like it's almost like I feel like something inside of you is starting to feel projected, because I talk about it in that way, because the Sabian symbol for this one is phase 359, the second to last degree of Pisces, which is light breaking into many colors as it passes through a prism. And that's some beautiful imagery. And the keynote for this is the analytical power of the mind necessary for the information of life process in their many aspects. And what I feel this energy is trying to kind of teach us is that we're all looking for the answer, I feel like, of where we're trying to go. You know, who am I? You know, like this Sabian symbols talks about the relationship that between the one and the many, and how we are this, you can think of us as beams of light reflected through the prism that is source, universe, however you connect to that bigger, that force that's bigger than you, that's you, but it's also a grand, that all-knowing side of you. And I feel that there's this understanding of that we all have a very common goal in what we're trying at a rudimentary level, but that doesn't make it any less spectacular. You know, the different hues that you see, that and colors that come through in this prism, and it makes this beautiful kind of collage that is the soul tribe. And I feel that I feel like the universe, that universe has been guiding us to, especially with this Neptune being in Pisces. And I feel this has been a chance to really connect with that idea. We may not be on the same page, you know, where people will be people sometimes, but I feel like that doesn't, people also have a story, you know, they all have a chart. When I look at, there are times where if I find myself feeling some kind of way about someone, I'm like, oh, you know what, I wonder what is going on with their chart. What is it that maybe is going on, that maybe we have some things that are at odds, something that if we knew and were able to talk about it, maybe we could find a way to integrate this stuff. But there's something here, I feel like, that in this individual calling, I feel that there is this understanding of like a collective calling as well. I feel like there's this understanding of our web of connection here. I mean, it's very interesting what I'm kind of feeling. This again, take what resonates with you, but a lot of clarity. I feel like intuitive clarity that can come with this, and that can be nice, you know, sometimes, where I feel sometimes intuition can seem a little mysterious, or it can seem a little unclear, but this just, I feel, is really kind of understanding your power, your life force, really really being in your resonance. And I feel that plays nicely into this next energy, because on Moon Day, Monday, April 29th, the lovely Empress Venus is going to be moving into her home sign of Taurus, one of them, at 4:31 a.m. And this is, I picture this energy as the Empress roaming through the garden in her sundress, just kind of, and this is a time where she's Venus has been through a lot of energy. We've been through a lot of energy. We've been receiving a lot, I feel, with what's been going on here. And now that Venus is in Taurus, she's trying to figure out what all that means. This is the time to get in a space and process, what am I going to build with this information? There's some things in my garden that, with this new things that I've learned about myself, oh, I used to love roses, but now I don't think I want to keep those in there anymore. Maybe I want to put in lavender, or maybe I want to start growing pumpkins, or maybe, there's something here about understanding what you need more and really kind of tending to your values and putting, when I think about Taurus is something that's an investment type of energy. We're really wanting quality when it comes with Taurus energy. And this is something that we're going to take our time building, whatever this is, or cultivating, or when I'm deciding where I'm going to input my time, my resources, whatever this is looking like. And so I feel like this is a time, I feel, because the day after, Mars is going to be entering into his home sign of Aries. And so while both of these planets are domiciled and dignified, this is one where we want to, I feel now, with Venus moving in here first, I feel this is allowing you to understand what this means in the body, really kind of finding, where is it that we're still trying to make peace with some things, where we're still kind of working some things out, and what's going to be our game plan for that, but also getting excited to what that evolution is going to bring, how we're going to take that and compost that into building something new on top of this, really kind of building on a sturdy foundation here. And then on Mars Day, the following day, Tuesday, that's when Mars will enter into Aries. And I like that because I feel that's going to be a very energetic type of day when Mars moving into this. But I feel this is one of not necessarily not just of action. Mars is just entering into there. But I feel like this is one where we're feeling confidence, when we're just like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to do this. Like, this is like, now there's no take backs. You're like, and yes, there's always take backs. You can always adjust on the way, but this feels like, yeah, I'm committing to this thing. Like, I'm ready to see this happen. No more. I'm at this place where I'm not waiting anymore because now the stars are lined up. They've been lining up for a minute, and now I feel with this masculine and feminine energy in these very balanced places. One's not really dominating the other. They're both they're just strong. They're just allowing each other the space to exist. Something here is, this is just, it feels so empowering. I feel this energy can be, and this can be one where you're taking this, and again, we're not rushing, but we're planning. We're just like, okay, I'm going to, because what I feel could be a bit of a struggle, or what can maybe put a damper in this, is that shortly after Mars, well, not shortly after, like maybe later that day, like 12 hours later, about 13, Venus is going to be forming a square with Pluto at 2 degrees and 6 minutes of Taurus, and Pluto will be at Aquarius. And Pluto's going to be getting ready to go retrograde here shortly. He'll be going retrograde on the 2nd, I want to say the 2nd of May. And with Venus squaring Pluto in Aquarius, I feel there are going to be, what I feel the tension is that I feel they're going to be, everyone is going to be getting this, seeing this growth differently. And what I feel this could be is it could almost be like a comparison energy of when am I going to get mine. You feel like you've put in this work, and it's not like you don't want to be happy for the collective or your friends getting the sense of power, but it's just like it can be, I feel like this can be learning to, when it's not just about us winning. When someone else wins, when our groups are winning, we are winning too. Like that's what I feel this Venus squared Pluto and Taurus could potentially be. There may be some more, like maybe some more jealous energies, or maybe an envious energies. And I don't feel like it's coming from an intentionally, it's just like, I feel like just like kind of those human kind of feelings that are coming up. It reminds me of like the Five of Swords type of energy where we're comparing ourselves to others. And I feel like this is, again, we're trusting in that intuition, that we're trusting in that divine timing, that things are working out the way that they are. And what I feel too, this Venus energy, because Taurus can sometimes place their values on what they have, like as far as the things, and forget about that internal worth as, on top of that. And so I just feel like that there's this, you never know what a person went through to get to where they're at. And we say we may want to get to what they're doing, but then we see their journey. It's like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe I will take my path. I was actually just talking about this with someone. I always talk about where I love the placement of when the moon is in Cancer, but then someone was just like, well, you know what? I'll gladly trade you. Yeah, I'll take your moon in Gemini any day, because but it's the grass is, I feel like this is like grass is always greener type of energy too. And know that yours is coming. There's enough abundance going around here. I feel like sometimes we can see that, we could feel that, oh, well, everyone else is getting theirs, there's not going to be enough for me. There's always enough for you. There's always enough. The universe didn't just say like, I'm only going to select a handful of who's going to get abundance. And I feel too that this can be one where it's just like we're understanding even like values a little bit different. It doesn't necessarily just always have to equate to things. This can be an abundance of self-esteem. This can be an abundance of hope, because what am I going to do with that? I can do some great stuff with a lot of hope. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. It keeps me grounded. So, or at least it can, sometimes, again, it's always balanced at the end of the day, but that's what I'm really kind of feeling with this. This can be a week of I feel like you start to see, if we really kind of take stock of what's going on and really kind of see that things are lining up the way that they're supposed to. It could always be faster. Could it always be more? It can always be yes. So it's just like, based off what happened, how can I make it more the next go around? Considering that, like, how can I bring it bigger? Because again, this feels very strong here. This feels very solidified. That again, that Pluto in Venus, there may be this, and I feel like this can be where we can help each other out. Help each other see how. It's not that we're envying each other. I was just, a great example. I was talking about how I had been feeling a lot of things kind of coming up as far as like where I was going on my journey, but things are lining up the way. When I took a moment and just kind of took a step back, and someone helped me kind of take a step back too. It's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then we ended up switching places. I was saying like, you know what? We are actually winning right now. Like as a whole, yes. Can there always, do we want to be further along? Yes. And it's like, I've even invited that to see, like, be glad that you still have that hunger for more. You know, that it's not, but not letting it be an obsession, let it be a motivation. Something like, okay, that I can do more and that I can be more and that I'm going to show up more and that I'm going to inspire others to show up more too. And I'm trusting in that divine timing and all this nice stuff here. And I feel like there's this that Venus and Taurus too. I feel like that is a take care of yourself, you know, kind of making sure we're getting stuff along here, but we're still moving at a bit of a leisurely place there. We want to enjoy the process of this journey. I feel like Venus is stopping and smelling the roses. You know, it doesn't have to be always like a breakneck pace to the finish. Because even Mars, the energy doesn't give me this. It's not Mars and his, like, how you, I feel like, you know, Mars has normally been defined. I feel like he's really kind of been he learned a lot through this, and or at least that's what the universe has been trying to get us. So I think that's what I got for you, gang. So if you've enjoyed that, and if you're curious about how these energies now, some things to point out. You know, I've been trying to figure out how to talk about this with your different charts. Now, with that Mars in Pisces conjunction, if you have any points that are in mutable placements, especially in Sag or Gemini, and in Virgo too, this is going to be a challenge of your faith. You know, this is going to needing, I feel like that listening to the attunement of the light workers for Virgo and Gemini in particular, considering that Mercury is just coming out of retrograde, and there are probably going to be some things where you're going to want to see some results, because Virgo and I feel Gemini, they move, you know, having Mercury as Mercury as your guardian. But I feel this is one where you're going to need to kind of trust in that process a bit more, and there may be a bit resistance in Sag. It's going to be a similar type of thing. I feel this one, I feel for Sag though, will be more of a needing to be compassionate with yourself, because maybe I feel like you're wanting to, I feel the where Sag could have some trouble is where they'll just kind of jump into anything to just get something moving just cause, and then that could, what does that do? You know, like, so be mindful of that, you know, I would say for that. And if you have any points around water placements or earth placements, that's going to be could be a harmonious placement for you as well, minus the Virgo where we're talking about that's forming that opposition. Now with Venus moving in traversing through Taurus, this is going to be bringing up tensions for the fixed signs. It's going to be forming squares with Scorpio and with Leo placements. Or excuse me, it's going to be forming squares with Aquarius and Leo placements. So this may be where there are going to be some things in your relationship that may come up that might be challenging what you value. You may have something that you want to focus towards, but other people may have some indies that where you're going may feel, and they may not be challenged, it may be challenging you, but you may feel like there's something in you that's being challenged, and that may be, instead of taking that out on them, that could be an invitation to go within and look at that a little bit more. So that's something I feel to kind of look out there. This could be very beneficial for earth placements, Taurus or Virgo, with Venus entering into this sign. And with Mars entering into Aries, the signs that may have a little problems with this is going to be Cancer and Libra, and Libra too. But Cancer and Capricorn will have the tension energy. So wherever you have points in those placements, there may be some things where Mars has been kind of spurring. I feel like been kind of boiling, trying to heat up the water for Cancer. It's been heating up the ground for Capricorn, and now there's been all this heat, and now he's moving. It's just like I still feel like there's this need to make sure that it's like we're moving at a pace I feel like we're not maybe used to. I feel Capricorns, it'll probably be a little bit faster. Cancers, it'll probably be where it's going to be, you're going to want to be a little more underground, but you may need to be a bit more direct, you know, maybe be a bit more assertive in how you're going about getting what you're wanting and what you're feeling. Feelings aren't going to be, I feel like, enough. They're an important part of the equation, but it's the actions that follow up. And I feel with Capricorn, it's almost vice versa. It's going to be, what are you feeling? You know, like I feel Capricorn can do whatever it wants to, but what is it that you really want to do? What does that really manifest? What drives you? So that's something I feel like to kind of think about with this, where these energies are going. And Libra, that's Libra. Libra's been eating it for a little while with this a lot of opposition energy. But Libra, it doesn't have to be looked at, but like oppositions are tricky, but it's learning to integrate, taking the best parts of both worlds and integrating them into something new. I'm constantly under oppositions. My sun is opposed Neptune and North Node. They're conjunct in, it's oppositions can be a lot, but the oppositions, it's learning from these relationships, which Libra does very well at. But I feel like it's thinking about a little bit broader with Libra. It's not just your relationship with people, but your relationship with disorder, with chaos, because that's the opposite of Aries is impulsive and just kind of figures things out. That's chaotic. Libra is more kind of balanced, and it's going to consider all of the options. But this is one where I feel like you're in a place of taking a more calculated risk. It's like but it's kind of similar, I feel like, to Cancer, where people may be kind of pushing you outside of your comfort zones, and there's a whatever that response is to that. Maybe we're needing to put up more boundaries. Maybe someone's trying to push us to achieve something more, to believe in yourself a little bit more. So that could be a nice energy. And with your just thinking about this can be, I feel too, a very kind of uplifting time for Aries placements, because now if your guardian is back in its home sign, so now that's gonna be fueling you with this fresh infusion energy of Mars. So and for Taurus, this is, I feel like, going to bring about this. I feel like this can be where things, after this whole, because with Uranus had been kind of rocking things a little bit, and I feel with this conjunction that's just happened in your sign, I feel Venus is coming through. It's just like, man, there's been a lot that's been going on in my home, and let's get things in order. This can be where you are kind of taking stock and kind of just like, okay, the storm has passed. Let me just start building again. And I feel like it's just like prioritizing, and just getting back grounded. So that's kind of just like a rough outline of certain different signs and things. And again, this is all very unique to your placement. So see where you have these points or placements where these planets are traversing through your chart. And if you're curious about how this stuff is working in your chart and you wanted to work a little more intimately with these cycles and things, book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below, and also on my page on my Instagram, on my bio page. So if there are any questions that you have about my services or anything, we can get into that before we get into this, to booking a reading and learning your energies there more. So absolutely, this, and it's something that's very empowering when you're seeing how this stuff works. When Venus is actually going through my 10th house right now. Well, she'll be going through from my 9th to my 10th house. So it's there's been a lot that I've been integrating, and now this is like coming into how I'm integrating how people see me. My relationship with the Republic is changing here. How I want to be viewed, and seen for what I am valued. That's been something that's been on my mind. So I'm working on changing that stuff. And now Mars entering into Aries, he's been traveling through my 8th house, and that's actually been very fascinating. But now he's going into my 9th house, and now we're taking more expansive actions. So it's exciting when you can pay attention to that and kind of like ride that kind of stuff out there, see where that things take you. So if that resonates with you, check all that information down in the description box. But thank you for being here. I hope you got some sort of nuggets or truth out of this thing, and hopefully this helps you get further along on your journey. So until next time, stay aware out there, keep your wits about you, stay mindful, keep raising that vibration through the roof. And stay tuned. I'm actually thinking about adding some more extra things on this channel, I plan on scheduling some live stuff here, and I'm going to start doing maybe some short form informational videos here, just so that you can have a little archive to come back to if you're curious about certain planet placement combinations and things. I got a whole thing that I'm cooking up there. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you on the next one next week.